You guys have asked for it. Now I'm doing it. I'm going to be doing some investing videos on this channel. So I'm not only getting you over the hill to home ownership, but I'm getting you over the hill to wealth as well. So we're going to start with something that's super easy, but you need to be able to understand. I'm going to teach you some basics as far as terms, like what's the NASDAQ, what's the NYSE, what's the Dow, and what's the S&P 500. Let's do it. So number one are the exchanges. There are two exchanges, the primary exchanges in the United States. They are the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Now, the New York Stock Exchange, abbreviated NYSE, is one of the oldest exchanges out there. And it does still have a physical trading floor. So you can go to New York, go to Wall Street, and you'll see people physically trading. Now, a lot of the trading is done electronically, but they still do have a physical trading floor. Now, the NASDAQ, however, is newer and it's all electronic. So all of the trading goes on electronically on the NASDAQ. So what you'll find on the New York Stock Exchange is that you're going to have some of those older established companies. And then on the NASDAQ, you usually see some newer companies that are very innovative, but both of them are basically doing the same thing. They are allowing stock trades to go through. So if you hear about the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, they're just exchanges and people can buy stock from those places. Now, there are some stocks that are traded on the New York Stock Exchange and some that are traded on the NASDAQ. There are very few that trade on both. So now you know what the exchanges are. Now let's get into the Dow and the S&P 500. Now you probably see the Dow every day. Like they'll give you the Dow Jones Industrial Average for the day. And all the Dow is simply the 30 largest companies in the United States. Companies like Amazon, Apple, Home Depot, Microsoft, Nike, Walmart are all on the Dow. And so these 30 largest companies, and sometimes some of these companies will come off if they're not doing very well. They may do better and come back on, but at any one time, it's the 30th largest, what they consider blue chip companies. Blue chip companies are well established and financially stable. So when you're looking at the Dow and they're giving you that average every day, pretty much if the Dow is doing well, like it's going up, those 30 large companies are doing well. If the Dow Jones Industrial Average goes down, those companies may not be doing as well. And that's all that it means. But it also, because they're the largest companies in the United States, it also gives you an eye into our economy overall. If we're mostly a consumer economy, like we buy things, that's a big part of our economy. So if these companies are doing well, then usually overall the economy is doing well as well. It's also doing well. All right, lastly is the S&P 500. Now the Dow only has 30 companies, so that could be a little bit, maybe not a clear picture, right? It's a decent picture, but it's really only 30 companies. Now the S&P 500 has 500 companies. So it's a little bit more diversified, or a lot more diversified, but they're also going to have 500 large companies listed on any stock exchange. Most of them are listed on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, and they're large established companies. So that's all you really need to know for now, is that now you know what the New York Stock Exchange is, the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500. We'll get into more later. Please like and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week.